What's up, guys? My name is Wox, and today I'll be explaining how to play Outlaw Rogue. I'll be quick, no bullshit, so you can get right into it. So as Outlaw Rogue, you have these buttons. Let's go to the next slide. You have Adrenaline Rush, Blade Rush, Roll the Bones, keep it rolling, Preparation, Blade Flurry, Sinister Strike, Pistol Shot, Killing Spree, Between the Eyes, and Dispatch. These are all the damage buttons you want on your bar. Every key you're going to use these talents. These talents will be in the description. You are always playing Trickster. There are some optional talents on the rogue tree you can swap depending on the key, including Shiv, Improved Wound Poison, Iron Stomach, Short Shroud, Superior Mixture. So first, we're going to go over Roll the Bones. Roll the Bones was reworked in Midnight. It was heavily simplified. So there are now 4 different buffs, okay? Each level of a buff contains the previous levels, so Jackpot is containing all 3 of the previous levels. You will only ever have 1 buff at a time, okay? So the first level, One of a Kind, dog shit. Second level, Double Trouble, whatever, pretty good. Third level, great. Keep it rolling that, awesome. Jackpot, insane, big damage. Love that shit. Okay. Buffs that are mandatory to track. You always want to track Blade Flurry. If you are not Blade Flurry in AoE, you are trolling. Make sure this is always up in AoE. Loaded dice, you want to track this. This changes how your rotation goes. Opportunity, same thing. You want to track how many stacks of opportunity you have. This will change how your rotation goes. Rotation priority. Cooldowns take priority, then finishers, then builders. Cooldowns. Blade Flurry. Maintain Blade Flurry when fighting more than one mob. If you don't, you are noob. Roll the Bones. You roll if you have level 1 roll or you have no buff active. Roll if you have level 2 with loaded dice active. We just talked about tracking that buff. Never reroll if you have level 3 or higher. If you do, you are trolling. Keep it rolling. Use it on level 3 plus. Roll the Bones instantly. You want to start CDR and keep it rolling as soon as you can when you have a good buff. After you keep it rolling, you can forget about it. Roll the Bones for like 60 seconds. So, pretty good. Adrenaline Rush. Use this on cooldown and not already active. Ideally at low combo points, but I found it sometimes, I'll explain later, but sometimes I don't use it at low combo points. Blade Rush on cooldown. This very important for your energy. Gives you a damage buff. Very good button. Does uncapped AoE. Great button. Just be careful about it charging you into the mob. This is troll. I die to this all the time. Preparation. If Adrenaline Rush, Between the Eyes, and Blade Rush is on cooldown, instantly press Preparation. Don't give it any other thought. Finisher priority. Only use finishers at 6 or more combo points. There is one exception though for Killing Spree. You can send it on 5 because Killing Spree is a shit button. That's fine. So, first priority, Slice and Dice. If you don't have Slice and Dice already active, press that. This is only in the opener usually. Before a key, you can get Slice and Dice up. I'll talk about the pre-key tech later. Don't worry about Slice and Dice too much in a key. You'll never need to refresh it manually. Between the Eyes, most important damage button. Best finisher. Press that shit. 6 or more combo points. Killing Spree. 5 or more combo points. Dispatch, last one. Dispatch will automatically convert into Coop when your hero talent procs. Pretty good. Builders. At 3 plus targets, use Blade Flurry on cooldown to generate combo points. Pistol Shot. When you have 6 stacks of Pistol Shot, just Pistol Shot, so you don't overcap. If you have 3 stacks and are at 1 to 3 combo points, Pistol Shot. Okay? None of these other conditions are met, Sinister Strike. Pre-key tech, before the key starts, you're going to want to Adrenaline Rush into a Killing Spree, into a Preparation, into another Adrenaline Rush. This is while the tank does the pull 10 timer before the key. You can do this. This is very important. Free damage, takes no time at all. Very easy. After the loading screen, like when you're in the bubble of the key, the 10-second counter, you're going to want to Slice and Dice. At the last second of that bubble, You're going to want to Blade Flurry. You're going to want to Stealth. You're going to want to Tricks the tank. If they're not mounted, keep spamming your tricks before you open. You don't want to die to threat for no reason. You're going to want to roll the bones because at this point, you're going to have a loaded dice proc from your Adrenaline Rush before the key. Free damage again. Keep it rolling if you have Triple Threat or Jackpot instantly, because if you got a good buff, that's great. Into another Adrenaline Rush. Blade Flurry into the pack if you didn't already. I didn't mean to put that twice. It is what it is. Blade Rush, Between the Eyes, Preparation of Between the Eyes didn't reset. If it did, just keep Between the Eyes in, like at 6 combo points or more. And then you follow your normal rotation priority. Hopefully that makes sense. I have a clip later in this video that you can look at. Optimizations. So you want to try to always line Between the Eyes up for Adrenaline Rush. So if Adrenaline Rush is coming back up soon, don't spend your Between the Eyes. It's important. This is a 2% DPS game. Okay? This is because of your Supercharger talents. When you Adrenaline Rush, and empowers 2 of your next finishers. It's important that's on Between the Eyes. Macros. These are all the macros I am using as Outlaw. So, this first macro. I find sometimes in a key the game is bugged and my combo point bar disappears. I made this macro, it makes it come back. Grapple Macro, this is so you don't have to click on the ground to use your Grappling Hook, so you can have your gap close or need to get somewhere. Very good macro. Focus Macro, this macro will focus mobs, okay? Very good for focus kicks, focus blind, focus sap, focus, whatever. Kidney Focus, Cheap Shot Focus. This is a good macro for doing a stop. Like, let's say you want a cheap shot because you're in stealth, or kidney shot. You can have that in one button. Very good. Tricks macro. You can do a cast at your tank's name. Tricks of the trade. Never have to manually click it. Great macro. Use this all the time. Okay, moving on. Poisons. Always use these poisons. Instant poison and atrophic poison. There are a few exceptions, though. In Mycera Caverns, before the first boss, a lot of the mobs there, berserkers, headhunters, they heal passively. If you wear wound poison with the wound poison talent, you can cut that heal, and overall your key will go faster. Same with Seat, subjugators, ravenous, like bird thins, ruthless rift stalkers, you can cut their heal and key will go faster. Magister's Terrace, Shadow Rift Voidcaller, that big mob that does the AoE, that, like, it's leeching your health. You can cut that heal in too. Will make the key faster. Stat priority, 25% haste, crit, burst, mastery. Consumables, I use these consumables every key. Haste Flask, Light's Potential, Weapon Oil, Harandar Celebration. Okay. Bis Gear. This trinket, insane. Gaze, Dream Wraith Mythic, do this every week. You can pug that. Easy to pug. Okay. You need this trinket. I don't have it yet because I'm noob. I'm working on getting it. Next best trinket, Umbral Plume from Mythic. You can get it on Heroic too. Pretty good. I'm not rating this tier, so I'll probably never see these 2 trinkets. I think this trinket's from Malaria. I don't really know much about it, but apparently it's really good. M+ trinkets. Solar Flare Prism. I have this trinket on Mythic. Insane trinket. Lots of crit procs. I also have this on Heroic. Hard to win. Kind of trash, but you know what? That's what I'm wearing, so I'm putting it here. Bonus rolls. Use your bonus rolls in Pit of Sauron. Lots of great Bis crit haste gear here. Assassination loot spec, you can get the Bis dagger from here. If you got all the Pit of Saurons, get, bonus roll your Gaze or your Skyreach trinket or other Mythic bosses if you're killing Mythic. But what I did, I bonus rolled Pit of Sauron for my dagger. And for some other gear, I don't have crests yet to upgrade, but they're in my bag. Great dungeon to bonus roll. Embellishment. Always use stat embellishments on your gear. Use Arcano Weave Linen, Weapon, Darkmoon Sigil Hunt. Make sure you have 2 embellishments on, unless you somehow have full Bis Mythic gear. You can sim your character, of course, at raid bots. Easy to do. If you don't already have a myth weapon, craft a sword. Always use crit and haste missive for crafting. That's what it's called. And always use a dagger in your offhand. Very important. Enchants, acuity, wet main stat proc, eyes of the eagle, rain crit damage enchant. Okay, very good. All the other enchants are just like leech and avoidance. I think I enchanted avoidance. There's also a chest enchant for agility. Make sure you have that on. Same with legs. Gems. Always use a 32 primary stat one and use either of these 16 crit 7 haste or 16 haste 7 crit, whatever you need more if you need your 25% haste. Explanations. Why do we use Kill and Spree before the key? So this is the proc, the 2 free unseen blades from our hero talent. Free damage and buffs are gained from this, okay? Why don't we care about putting Tisselty on our bar? Tisselty will auto proc. They made it so it procs below 30 energy. There's no reason to manually use it. Why do I always run out of cloud cover? A recent hotfix made this hero talent playable, where when it expires, it refreshes the buff anyway. So do not worry about cloud cover. This is a great hotfix. Thank you, Blizzard, for doing that, making this playable. Why do we adrenaline rush twice before the key? So the first adrenaline rush is to get combo points for your killing spree. And then the second one is to have the key start with 2 supercharger stacks and to have a free slice and dice during the bubble timer. What about Coupe de Grace? Coupe de Gras. I don't know how to say it, to be honest. Anyway, same priority as Dispatch. Don't worry about that. Dispatch will automatically turn into it and cast when you need it. Do you ever hold Adrenaline Rush? Ideally, you don't. But, you know, if you know you're going to have downtime, probably don't send it. Like last boss of Mysara Caverns, you want it for the burn. Ideally, if you can line it up well. Second boss in Nexus Point, important to have it there. It's a 300% damage amp. Last boss in C, it's important to have it for damage burns for those bosses. Like, an exception is first boss of Magister's always a 20% damage burn. Doesn't matter there. Last boss at Nexus Point, you don't want an adrenaline rush like when you're about to phase, unless you're gonna like instantly kick the right mob. So like, you know, you can save it there. So what add-ons am I using? Targeted spells, Midnight Focus Interrupt, Ability Timeline, Simulation Craft, Big Wigs, Details, Little Wigs, M+ Timer, True GCD. These are all the add-ons I am using in Midnight. RIP Weak Auras, but I will link all of these in the description. Alright, I'm going to go over the Outlaw Rogue opener on these training dummies. This is when you don't have Slice and Dice up. So the rotation is going to go like this. You're going to Adrenaline Rush into Roll the Bones into Slice and Dice. If your Roll the Bones is Triple Threat or Jackpot, you're going to want to keep it rolling instantly into a Blade Flurry, into a Blade Rush, into a Between the Eyes. If Between the Eyes did not reset, you're going to want a Preparation. If it did, you're going to want a Between the Eyes again. Remember, you only want to use your finishers at 6 or more combo points, unless it's Kill and Spree, which you can use at 5, but I'll just go in slow motion here. So we're going to Adrenaline Rush into Roll the Bones into a Slice and Dice. As you can see, I got Triple Threat here. I'm going to keep it rolling that into a Blade Flurry, into a Blade Rush, into a Between the Eyes. Between the Eyes resets here, insane. We're going to Between the Eyes again. It doesn't reset, so we're going to Preparation, okay? Another Blade Rush, because it just reset, into a Blade Flurry, into another Between the Eyes. So it reset here. I only have 5 combo points. You're going to want a Sinister Strike here. Between the Eyes again. Same thing, only 5 combo points. Sinister Strike again, into a Between the Eyes. Same thing, Sinister Strike again, into a Between the Eyes. It doesn't reset here. Or it did. Okay, so we're going to Between the Eyes again, into a Blade Rush. It just came up, into a Blade Flurry. And at this point, the next priority button is Kill and Spree, so we're going to Kill and Spree now. Kill and Spree is going to build our combo points to full. We're going to use this once we have the right amount of combo points, 6+. And then we're going to Adrenaline Rush again, because Adrenaline Rush just expired. We have max combo points now. Into a Dispatch, okay, into a Blade Flurry, into a Between the Eyes, into a Blade Rush, into a Sinister Strike. Sinister Strike got us to 6. Okay, we're going to want to Dispatch into a Pistol Shot, into another Sinister Strike here, into a Coup, and at this point you're just following your normal rotation. Easy. Alright, so just going over the pre-key tech here, what we're going to do is we're going to Adrenaline Rush into a Killing Spree, into a Preparation, into another Adrenaline Rush. And then while we're in this bubble here, this 10-second countdown timer, we're going to Slice and Dice. And this key's a little awkward because you're not fighting a pack right away, but if you are going to Blade Flurry into, you know, Tricks on the Tank into your stealth. So I get the crit buff here. I'm going to Blade Flurry, Tricks on Tank. I also roll because you have your loaded dice before the key. And then you're going to open with your Adrenaline Rush, Blade Rush, Between the Eyes, Preparation, because Between the Eyes and Reset. And you just go like that, just in the key, and do the pack. Same as the Train and Dummy video, you just don't Slice and Dice in your opener.